Hi, welcome to the channel. As you can see, we're Gen X, and we've realized that we really need to get a lot more serious about retirement and investing. So, this is actually the last month that we're officially a one income household before my spouse starts getting paid again in July. So today I'm updating all of our real numbers live for June and seeing where we actually stand financially as we go all in on trying to not work forever. So please feel free to join us and let's just dive right on in. Okay, so starting out with our emergency reserves. Um, we earned a little bit of interest this month, which was our ending balance for June was $12,103. This is basically 3 months emergency reserves. Again, as I said at the top of the video, we were a one income household, and my spouse started to work in June, but they won't receive their first paycheck until July. So, likely now that we're a two income household, I'm sure we're going to try to, build this up even more to 6 months. But this is our 3 month reserve, and it took actually I forget how long it took for us to get here on one income, probably about close to a year. So really, all I can say about that is, look, life be life, and things happen. The great thing about having an emergency reserve is that when ish hits the fan, you can easily come to this account and pull the funds accordingly. So no matter what your number is, I know for us that's a big number, but I would just say, keep just chipping, keep chipping away at it. No no matter what. Let's see. Okay, so the next account we have is a health savings account. This is a family account. So actually, last year was the first time I had signed us up for the high deductible health account, which allows us to have a health savings account. And so I maxed that out last year. And so I'm on my way to making sure that we max this out for this year. As you can see, so my employer, they use Optum Bank for this HSA. So Optum does require that you keep $2,000 in cash as what they call available to spend. And then once you hit 2000, they will let you invest the rest. So at the end of June, the total amount in the account was $14,603.54. So, my goal here with the health savings account is, I want to try to build this up to as much money as possible, and, to not touch it, to just kind of pay out of pocket for our medical expenses. But obviously, if something crazy happens and it's like a really big bill that we can't, pay out of pocket, then, I'll come to this if I need to. I'll sell the investments. But just kind of going in there, again, my intent is to try to just basically max this joint out for every year until we hit retirement. And then we can reimburse ourselves, because the thing about the HSA is that, again, you can invest this money. It comes out of your paycheck, pre-tax, right? So you save money there on your taxes today, and then if you invest it, then it can grow. And actually, maybe I'll just make a separate. I don't want to ramble too much. I'll probably just make a separate video on the HSA. And but anyhow, you can invest it. It grows, tax free. And then as long as you use it for medical expenses, you can reimburse yourself for like all of your, medical expenses. So like even when we're in retirement, once we reach retirement age, we'll be able to reimburse ourselves for all of the medical stuff that we um, are, kind of accumulating from now until then, plus whatever medical stuff we have like in retirement. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to kind of ramble there, but anyhow, that's the health savings account. So the next area is actually my 401k, and I actually like to track this separately, specifically what my contributions are versus what my employer contributes, because honestly, I see this employer match, the company retirement contribution, I really see that as part of my compensation package. But you can kind of see here, this little dot that I have is my company, they do have a 3-year vesting period for company contributions. So therefore, this portion of the money won't be fully mine until I hit 2027, because I just started with the company like 2 years ago. So 2027 is when I'll hit 3 years. So anyhow, at the end of June, my pre-tax grew to $35,120.05. And the reason why I say it grew that much is because in June, I did not contribute to my pre-tax account this year. The first part of this year, I've really been trying to bolster up my Roth part of my 401k. So, pre-tax obviously comes out of your check, before taxes. So you get the tax benefit now. But the Roth 401k, that comes out of your check like after tax. And so the thing about the Roth is that those gains, they do grow, tax free. So anyhow, I was trying to, really focus on bolstering up my Roth 401k. So anyway, at the end of June, um, as you can see, I contributed like about 1,700 came out of my check, and it ended up growing because of the market as well. So not only my contributions, but then also what the market did. So at the end of June, this was $21,288.48. Let's see, the company match, that's down here. So the company and company match, and also the retirement contribution that the company does, that always goes in pre-tax as well. So later on in retirement, I will have to, give Uncle Sam his cut. Anyway, though, the company match, they for June contributed 544.10, and so now that total account balance is $22,180.30. And then for the company retirement contribution, that just happens once a year, early in the year. So they look at what money you made the previous year, any sort of overtime, for those people who are hourly, any sort of overtime pay that people bought, and then worked, and then they provide a certain contribution. So that's just once a year. So this is now $12,923.61. So again, as you can see over here, you kind of see this total vested balance. So this is literally like if I woke up tomorrow and decided, okay, I'm going to quit the company, this money I would be able to take with me to, like, wherever I go, versus this money over here is not yet vested because it comes from the company. So again, next year, in my case, it'll be the first quarter of 2027. That's when I'll officially hit 3 years. And so then, for example, if I was to wait until the second quarter of next year to leave, then I can take, all of this money with me. So again, I know some people say, this whole, employer match, or if you do get a retirement contribution from, your company, because your company doesn't do pensions anymore, they call this kind of like golden handcuffs. But again, at the end of the day, if you go to work every day and your employer actually provides you with some sort of match, some sort of retirement contribution, then, I would challenge you to really think about it, not so much as a golden handcuff, but to literally be, hey, this is part of your compensation. Every day that you come to work, you have earned this. And so, like I said, for me personally, me and my house, they not taking that away, from me. So it is what it is. All right. So anyhow, for the brokerage account, now this is something new that we just started to contribute to, just to like also have, like different sort of buckets. So we're putting together, a pre-tax bucket. We have, an after-tax type of, or sorry, a tax-free bucket, because that's what the Roth gives you. And so the brokerage is kind of like your quote unquote after-tax bucket. So anyhow, not a lot in here, but hey, every dollar counts. So $1,421.69 is in there. The end of June. Okay, so for my spouse, previously they had a traditional IRA. And so we decided to go ahead and convert that money. So we did do a Roth conversion. So now there's a whopping 1 cent, 1 penny that's in there for the traditional IRA. That was probably just some sort of uh, probably an issue with, not really an issue, but just the sort of timing of when we transferred the money to the Roth account. So it is what it is. But anyhow, we converted those funds into Roth. So that does mean that when we go to do our taxes this year, we will pay a tax, on that amount, because that traditional IRA is also pre-tax. But we did the math and we said, okay, for this amount, it's probably better for us to just go ahead and prepare to pay the taxes this year versus, continuing to like let it grow. And then, obviously, the larger that this balance gets, that means the more taxes you pay. And ultimately, we're not putting any money in that traditional IRA because, again, as you heard from before, we were really focusing on, trying to get up our Roth bucket. So anyhow, so in total for the Roth accounts that we have, so my Roth has $5,725.37 in it. And then my spouse, uh, because of the conversion, right, with this additional conversion, now their account balance is $96,733.92. So yeah, so that's like I said, it's not really that, stuff really changed much. It was just more kind of moving this bucket for why there's that change there. And then I also have a crypto Roth IRA. So that has $9,413.91 in it. I haven't put any new money in it. Basically, a while ago, I opened up this crypto Roth. I put a certain amount in it for Bitcoin and ETH, and I was just like, I'm just not going to touch it, and we'll see uh, what happens. Crypto, has had a quote unquote challenging year, but I guess it's really not technically a challenging year. It's just going through like its normal cycle. So again, this is not something that I'm even really paying attention to. But obviously now that I'm tracking our information, of course, I get to see it every month. So okay, so let's now see if I unhide this. Let's see what we are working with. Okay. So, yeah, definitely happy, where we are. Um, again, I mean, you can see, right, going back to January, it looks like we started out with just over 170,000 as far as like in our assets. And so then in the, let's see, the in the last 6 months, we're at 231. So you know what? Let's just do a real quick let the spreadsheet. So I mean, yeah. So basically, in 6 months, um, to have our total assets increase by almost 60,000. Again, that's just something that I think to me proves uh, how things can still make headways, regardless of like what the market is doing, because sometimes the market's up, sometimes the market's down. But again, as this is our savings and investments, tracking, again, we are, focused on the long term. And we had to start somewhere, and so this is where we started. And as we go into the rest of this year with the two income household, I'm really looking forward to see where we end up. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some encouragement to maybe track things for yourself. And quite frankly, I'm also curious, right? So if you're watching this, what's one thing that you're trying to improve financially right now? Are you trying to save more money? Are you trying to do some investments, right? So this is all investments, right here. Are you focused on maybe paying off debt, or trying to catch up for retirement? So drop it in the comments, especially if you feel like you're starting later than you wanted to. It's okay. you know you got to start somewhere. So hopefully, let's just continue to make strides together as we all go on about our journey. Have a great day, and see you in the next video.